Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this. And I actually wasn't planning on making this video, however I saw a video by Truth Slayer and I thought of a really interesting comparison between mainstream pro wrestling and mainstream music. You see, I'm not exactly sure which channel I'm going to upload this video on, whether it be my music channel or my main channel, but I just think there's an interesting comparison between mainstream music and mainstream pro wrestling. Because a lot of people say that they don't like a lot of the things that are in WWE and TNA. And like you say, you can go and watch something else, you know? Like, go and watch PWG, Ring of Honor, Shimmer, Shikara, Japan, you know, Japanese wrestling. And in music, there are a fair chunk of people, and I'm not going to say all of them, because, you know, a lot of people do like mainstream music at the moment. And that's completely up to you, because you can listen to whatever you want to. Much like you can watch whatever you want to in wrestling. But a fair chunk of people say they do not like what's in the mainstream, so they go and listen to different music types, you know, they go and listen to independent music, underground music, you know, whatever you want to call it. Different reggae music, spiritual music, different types of rock music, old rock and roll music, you know, music from the past, for example. Like myself, that's what I like to do, because I'm not really a big fan of the mainstream music scene as it is at the moment. There are a few people I like in it, much like with WWE, there are, you know, wrestlers and certain things that they do which I like, and a lot of stuff that I'm not too keen on, you know, and sometimes it changes, much like with music, the mainstream music scene, where, you know, some of the time you might like a lot of the stuff that's in the mainstream, and a little bit of it you might not like. Which hasn't happened in a while, I must be honest, since like 1990s, I'll say, you know, maybe some 2000s, but, you know, I'm going to say 1990s, that hasn't really happened. You could say 1980s is when it stopped, and I think, you know, that would be fine. But, you know, so it just kind of changes. I think there's an interesting comparison between music and wrestling. And I think, you know, if you don't like music as it is in the mainstream at the moment, then you can go and listen to people, you know, things from the past, such as, even though this is the old band, you know, I say the old band, but I mean, you know, I prefer the older songs that they used to do compared to now. You know, much like with pro wrestling, and you can go and watch, you know, different promotions like PWG, Japan, Ring of Honor. You can go and watch music, go and, you know, listen to music from the past, such as great English band, well, former English band anyway, who knows what they're doing now, but still, Madness, for example. I don't know if it's upside down, or it's just on my camera, on the screen, it's showing it as upside down. Madness, for example, or you can go listen to the Beatles, Stevie Wonder. I'm not trying to show you my whole CD collection or anything like that, or music collection, but Guns N' Roses. Or, you know, heck, Nirvana even, you know. Or of course you can listen to different kinds of, or, you know, different kinds of metal music. Or, you know, because there's a lot of good metal music out there. For example, Avenged Sevenfold. You know? And of course, you know, you can listen to stuff much like Avenged Sevenfold. It's, you know, kind of new music. There's a lot of new good bands out there as well, like Avenged Sevenfold, like the Foo Fighters. Even though they've been around for a fair while, they're still, you know, kicking ass. And there are, you know, a lot of good new bands. Heck, Ziggy Marley, you know, Bob Marley's son, for example. So like with pro wrestling and a lot of other things, probably, I'm not just trying to compare like pro wrestling and music, because it's just two things that I thought of and I was like, damn, that's a heck of a comparison you got there, because pretty much mainstream music and mainstream pro wrestling are in the same kind of state at the moment. And, you know, like with pro wrestling, well, with both, I mean, you know, if you don't like what's in the mainstream, go and watch or go and listen to something else. Thank you. You know, whether it be stuff from the stuff nowadays, you know, with different bands and independent artists, or whether it be stuff from the past, okay? Go and listen or go and watch something different if you don't like what's in the mainstream at the moment. Thank you for watching or listening, you know, whatever you're doing. If you're deaf, then I don't really know why you're watching this video, but you know, what can you do? Yeah, so just thank you for watching. Peace. I hope I didn't bore you, but I tend to make these videos quite long, and I apologise for that. Thank you. Cheers.